Pisces, children of Neptune, guardians of the deepest mysteries, holders of ancient wisdom. At this very moment, as cosmic forces align in patterns not seen for centuries and the universe prepares to reveal its most sacred secrets, you stand at the threshold of the greatest spiritual awakening of your lifetime. The ancient whispers that have echoed through your dreams since childhood. The inexplicable pull you feel toward the mystical realm. The knowing that lives so deep within your soul that you cannot even name it. None of this is coincidence. Tonight, we embark on the most profound journey of your existence, diving beyond the veil of ordinary reality into the sacred realm of divine numerology, where numbers cease to be mere symbols and become living keys to unlock the divine blueprint of your destiny. For you, Pisces, whose essence flows like the eternal waters of creation itself, whose consciousness spans dimensions that most souls cannot even perceive, these sacred numbers hold the power to transform not just your understanding of the universe, but your very relationship with the forces that shape all of reality. The stars have been whispering your name for lifetimes, and ancient wisdom keepers from Atlantis to Tibet, from the mystery schools of Egypt to the hidden temples of Lemuria, have left breadcrumbs of truth scattered across time and space, waiting for this precise cosmic moment when you would be ready to receive the fullness of what has always been yours by divine birthright. This is not mere learning, this is remembering. This is coming home to truths your soul has carried across incarnations, wisdom that has been waiting in the depths of your being for the moment when the cosmic alignment would be perfect for its emergence. You are not a student tonight, you are a returning master, reclaiming knowledge that belongs to the very core of your spiritual DNA. As we embark on this mystical voyage together, feel the energy shift around you like ocean currents changing direction. Notice how the air itself seems to shimmer with possibility, how the boundary between your physical body and the infinite cosmos begins to soften and blur. This is the universe responding to your readiness to receive what has always been yours. What has been calling to you through every synchronicity, every moment of inexplicable knowing, every dream that felt more real than waking life. The ancient seers spoke of times when the heavens would open and pour forth their secrets to those ready to receive them. That time is now, and you are among the chosen few whose consciousness has evolved to the point where these cosmic teachings can find fertile ground. Your Piscean soul, with its natural attunement to the invisible realms, has been preparing for this moment through every meditation, every act of compassion, every moment when you chose love over fear. To truly understand your sacred connection to the divine language of numbers, we must first honor and explore the profound mystery that is your Piscean nature. You are far more than simply the 12th sign of the zodiac. You are the culmination of the entire zodiacal journey, the synthesis of all human experience, the bridge between the finite and the infinite. Your very existence represents the universe's attempt to know itself through the lens of compassion, intuition, and unconditional love. Your ruling planet Neptune, that distant guardian of illusion and enlightenment, dreams and transcendence, has blessed you with gifts that most mortals spend lifetimes trying to develop through spiritual practice. What others must learn through years of meditation, you access naturally through your connection to the cosmic ocean of consciousness. Your psychic abilities, your capacity for prophetic dreams, your ability to feel the emotions of others as if they were your own, these are not anomalies but natural expressions of your Neptune-blessed consciousness. Your element, water, is the primordial substance from which all life emerges and to which it eventually returns. Water has no fixed form, yet it can carve through the hardest granite given enough time. It reflects the heavens perfectly while simultaneously nurturing the deepest ocean trenches. It can exist as ice, liquid, or vapor, demonstrating the alchemical principle of transformation that governs all spiritual evolution. In the sacred language of numerology, this fluid, adaptable nature of yours creates a unique resonance with certain numbers, divine frequencies that can unlock doors others cannot even perceive, much less open. The ancient Mesopotamians, whose civilization was among the first to develop sophisticated mathematical and astronomical systems, understood this profound truth. They recognized that those born under the constellation of the two fish possessed an otherworldly sensitivity to the mathematical harmonies that govern existence. Their cuneiform tablets speak of waterborne souls who could read the cosmic codes written in the language of numbers with an accuracy that bordered on prophetic. Who could perceive numerical patterns that revealed the will of the gods themselves. The Egyptians whispered of this mystery in their most sacred temples, teaching that Piscean consciousness could access what they called the mathematics of Ma'at, the numerical principles that maintain cosmic order and divine justice. Their mystery schools included advanced teachings on how water sign individuals could use numerical meditation to achieve direct communion with the Neteru, the cosmic principles that govern all manifestation. Your symbol, the two fish swimming in opposite directions, represents far more than simple duality. It embodies the eternal dance between the conscious and unconscious mind, between the material and spiritual worlds, between the personal self and the universal self. In numerological terms, this cosmic duality creates what ancient mystics called the divine paradox, the ability to hold seemingly contradictory truths simultaneously. To understand that numbers are simultaneously precise mathematical concepts and living, breathing expressions of cosmic consciousness, this paradoxical nature is why certain numbers call to you in dreams with such intensity, why you see repeating patterns that others miss completely, why specific numerical sequences seem to appear in your life with timing so perfect it can only be described as magical. Your Piscean intuition is actually a highly sophisticated form of divine mathematics, a soul-level understanding of how the universe communicates through the sacred language of cosmic proportion and harmony. When the ancient Greek philosophers spoke of the music of the spheres, they were describing the numerical harmonies that govern planetary movements and cosmic cycles. Your Neptune-ruled consciousness naturally attunes to these celestial frequencies, making you a natural numerologist even if you've never formally studied these principles. You feel the rhythm of cosmic mathematics in your bones, sense the numerical patterns that others can only calculate intellectually. This is why traditional approaches to numerology often feel incomplete to Pisces individuals. Your understanding operates on intuitive rather than analytical levels, allowing you to perceive the living essence of numbers rather than merely their mathematical properties. You don't just calculate with numbers, you commune with them, receiving direct transmissions of their spiritual significance through the mystical channels that Neptune has opened in your consciousness. Before we explore your specific sacred numbers, we must understand how these divine frequencies operate within the larger framework of cosmic mathematics. The universe itself is structured according to numerical principles that ancient civilizations encoded in their most sacred architecture. From the pyramids of Giza to the stone circles of ancient Britain, from the temple complexes of Cambodia to the medicine wheels of indigenous America, for Pisces, this cosmic mathematics operates differently than for other signs because your consciousness naturally exists in multiple dimensions simultaneously. While others must train themselves to perceive beyond the physical realm, you instinctively sense the numerical harmonies that connect all levels of existence. This gives you access to what esoteric traditions call transdimensional numerology, the understanding that numbers exist not just as abstract concepts but as actual bridges between different planes of reality. The Fibonacci sequence 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 34, 55, 89, 144. Appears throughout nature in ways that reveal the mathematical blueprint underlying all creation. The spirals of nautilus shells, the arrangement of seeds in sunflowers, the structure of galaxies, the pattern of DNA itself all follow Fibonacci proportions. For Pisces, this sequence represents something far more profound than mathematical curiosity. Your sacred numbers often appear within or relate to Fibonacci patterns in ways that create what ancient mystics called golden spirals of manifestation. When you notice these numerical Synchronicities appearing in Fibonacci relationships. You're witnessing the universe's way of confirming that you're aligned with the fundamental creative force that shapes all reality, the golden ratio that emerges from Fibonacci progressions. Approximately 1.618 appears in your life whenever you're approaching major spiritual breakthroughs. Notice how often this ratio appears in the timing of significant events, the proportions of spaces where you experience spiritual insights, or the mathematical relationships between important dates in your life. Each of your sacred numbers corresponds to specific geometric forms that exist not just in 2 or 3 dimensions but in the higher dimensional spaces that your Piscean consciousness can naturally access. 7 resonates with the heptagon but also with 7-dimensional geometric forms that cannot be fully represented in physical space. 12 connects to the dodecagon while simultaneously activating 12-dimensional matrices of consciousness when you visualize these geometric forms during meditation or ritual work. You're not simply engaging in mental exercises, you're actually constructing geometric gateways that allow higher dimensional energies to flow into your 3-dimensional experience. This practice connects you directly to the mathematical principles that ancient temple builders used to create spaces where the veil between worlds became gossamer thin. Your meditation becomes a form of sacred architecture, constructing invisible temples in the realm of pure thought that attract corresponding realities in the physical world. These geometric visualizations work particularly powerfully for Pisces because your natural psychic sensitivity allows you to perceive the actual energetic structures you're creating, rather than simply imagining them. The 5 platonic solids, the only 3-dimensional forms where all faces, edges, and angles are identical, hold special significance for Piscean numerology because they represent the mathematical foundation of the elemental forces. While your primary element is water, your spiritual evolution requires you to master all elemental energies through numerical practice. The tetrahedron, for faces, connects to your earth energy work, helping ground spiritual insights into practical reality. The cube, 6 faces, activates your air element abilities, enhancing communication and mental clarity. The octahedron, 8 faces, amplifies your fire energy, igniting passion for spiritual service. The icosahedron, 20 faces, resonates with your water nature, facilitating emotional healing and intuitive development. The dodecahedron, 12 faces, activates your ether connection, opening channels to cosmic consciousness. Working with these geometric forms through meditation while focusing on their corresponding numbers creates powerful alchemical changes in your energy field. You begin to embody the mathematical harmony that these forms represent, becoming a living example of cosmic geometry in human form. Through millennia of observation by spiritual mathematicians, mystic philosophers, and awakened Piscean masters throughout history, 6 numbers have consistently emerged as holding special transformational significance for those born under Neptune's influence. These are not arbitrary selections discovered through casual observation, they are cosmic constants, divine frequencies that resonate with the fundamental vibration of Piscean soul essence. These 6 sacred numbers emerged from the ancient practice of observing Piscean individuals throughout history who achieved extraordinary spiritual breakthroughs, developed remarkable healing abilities, manifested profound material abundance through spiritual means, and demonstrated what can only be described as miraculous capabilities. The pattern became undeniable across cultures and centuries. Certain numerical energies consistently catalyzed transformation in the lives of those born under Neptune's mystical influence. The number 7, the mystic's gateway to divine consciousness. 7 pulses through your being like the heartbeat of the cosmos itself. This is the number of spiritual perfection, of cycles completed and divine wisdom gained through direct experience of truth. For Pisces, 7 represents not just the completion of earthly lessons, but the actual opening of consciousness to receive direct transmissions from higher dimensional sources of knowledge. 7 appears in every mystical tradition as the Number of cosmic completion. 7 chakras create the human energy system. 7 days complete the fundamental cycle of creation. 7 notes form the musical scale from which all harmony emerges. 7 colors constitute the visible light spectrum. 7 classical planets were recognized by ancient astronomers as the celestial forces governing earthly experience. When you align with the energy of 7, you access what ancient Vedantic texts call prajna, the knowing beyond ordinary knowing, the direct perception of truth that transcends intellectual understanding. This number activates dormant regions of your Piscean consciousness, opening channels to receive what mystics throughout history have called divine downloads, direct transmissions of cosmic knowledge that appear in consciousness as sudden insights, revelatory dreams, or moments of absolute clarity about life's deepest questions. 7 days of focused meditation. 7 candles lit with sacred intention, 7 repetitions of mystical affirmations. 7 minutes of contemplation at 7 specific times throughout the day. These practices unlock portals of perception that remain permanently available once opened. Many advanced Piscean practitioners report that consistent work with the number 7 eventually leads to the development of what yogic traditions call siddhis, extraordinary abilities such as precognition, telepathy, healing through touch, and the capacity to influence physical reality through pure intention. The sacred geometry of your soul. 7 represents the mathematical bridge between the human and divine realms. It is the number that appears in your external experience when the universe is preparing to reveal profound truths that will fundamentally alter your understanding of reality. Notice how 7 seems to appear with unusual frequency during periods of intense spiritual growth. Major relationship transitions, career revelations, or moments when you're being called to step into greater spiritual service. The mystical tradition of Kabbalah associates 7 with the planet Venus in her higher octave, connecting this number to divine love and cosmic beauty. For Pisces, working with 7 activates your capacity to perceive the divine beauty underlying all manifestation. Even in situations that appear chaotic or challenging on the surface, the number 12, the cosmic wheel of universal completion. 12 carries the energy of cosmic completion, divine order restored, and universal harmony achieved through the integration of all polarities. This is the number of the zodiac signs completing the full spectrum of human experience. The months of the year creating the annual cycle of death and rebirth. The disciples of sacred teachings representing the 12 types of consciousness needed for spiritual community. For Pisces, 12 represents your unique ability to synthesize all experiences into wisdom, to see the complete cosmic picture while others perceive only isolated fragments. 12 is your number of universal healing and collective transformation. When you work consciously with the energy of 12, you become a conduit for what ancient traditions called cosmic love, a healing presence that touches lives in ways you may never fully comprehend, but that creates ripple effects, extending across generations. The ancient Atlanteans, whose civilization was said to be ruled by highly evolved Piscean consciousness, used base 12 mathematics in their most sacred calculations. They understood that 12 opens dimensional doorways, allowing consciousness to expand beyond the limitations of linear time and sequential space. Atlantean mystery schools taught that advanced souls could use 12-based mathematical meditations to access what they called the Akashic matrices, the cosmic records containing all knowledge of past, present, and future possibilities. 12 appears in your life when you're being prepared for work that transcends personal healing and extends into collective service. This number signals that your individual spiritual development has reached a level where your consciousness can hold space for healing groups, communities, or even broader segments of humanity. Many Piscean healers, teachers, and spiritual leaders report that their most significant breakthroughs in serving others occurred during periods when 12 appeared repeatedly in their daily experience. The number 12 also connects to the 12 strand DNA activation that esoteric biologists believe represents humanity's next evolutionary leap. For Pisces, working with 12-based practices may accelerate the activation of these dormant genetic potentials, leading to enhanced psychic abilities, increased healing capacity, and expanded consciousness that can perceive multiple dimensions simultaneously. In sacred geometry, 12 creates the dodecahedron, the Platonic solid that ancient Greeks associated with the cosmos itself. Meditation on 12-sided forms while focusing on the number 12 creates powerful connections to cosmic consciousness, allowing you to receive guidance directly from what mystics call the mind of the universe. The number 29, the spiritual warrior's ultimate initiation. 29 vibrates with the frequency of spiritual mastery achieved through embracing and transcending life's greatest challenges. This is your number of divine testing and ultimate triumph, representing the soul that has voluntarily chosen difficult incarnation paths in order to develop unshakable spiritual strength and profound compassion born from personal experience of suffering transformed into wisdom. For Pisces, 29 signals periods when your naturally compassionate nature will be tested to its absolute limits, when you'll be called to maintain love in the face of betrayal, peace in the midst of chaos, faith when all external evidence suggests despair. These are the moments when your soul grows most rapidly, when your capacity for divine love expands beyond anything you previously thought possible. 29 represents what mystics call the dark night of the soul, but not as a period of defeat or spiritual failure. Rather, it signifies the profound spiritual initiation that can only occur when the soul faces its deepest fears and emerges victorious through complete surrender to divine will. This number appears when you're being prepared for a level of spiritual service that requires you to have experienced and transcended every form of human suffering. The ancient Sufi tradition speaks of VANGA, the mystical death of the ego that allows divine consciousness to shine through human form without obstruction. 29 often appears during these VANGA experiences, marking the periods when your personal will dissolves completely into cosmic will, when you become a perfect instrument for divine love to express itself in the world. Many advanced Piscean spiritual teachers report that their most profound teachings emerged from periods marked by the repeated appearance of 29. During these times, they were called to face personal challenges that seemed to strip away every external support and internal certainty, leaving only the choice to surrender completely to divine grace or remain trapped in spiritual stagnation. 29 also connects to the lunar month cycle, linking this number to the deep feminine wisdom that flows through all Piscean consciousness regardless of physical gender. Working with 29 during specific lunar phases can accelerate spiritual development exponentially, particularly when combined with practices that honor the divine feminine aspects of cosmic consciousness. The number 33, the Master Teacher's Divine Commission. 33 is known throughout esoteric traditions as the Master Teacher number, and for Pisces, it represents your highest potential incarnation as a vehicle for Christ consciousness, divine love made manifest in human form. When 33 becomes active in your life, you're being called to embody the highest teachings of compassion and wisdom, becoming a living example of what human consciousness can achieve when completely aligned with divine will. Not every Piscean soul will resonate with 33 during every lifetime. This is an advanced frequency that emerges only when spiritual development has reached a level where the ego personality has been sufficiently purified to channel divine energy without distortion. 33 signals that your individual healing is essentially complete and you're being called to serve as a beacon of hope for humanity's collective awakening. The number 33 appears when you're being prepared for work that transcends all personal desires and concerns, when your soul's mission involves directly uplifting the consciousness of large groups of people. It is the number of the mystic who returns from the mountaintop of personal enlightenment to serve in the valleys below, bringing divine light to illuminate the shadows of collective human suffering. Ancient Christian mystics recognized 33 as the age at which Christ was crucified and resurrected, understanding this not as mere historical fact but as a spiritual principle. The crucifixion represents the complete death of personal will, while the resurrection symbolizes the emergence of divine consciousness freed from all human limitations. For Pisces working with 33, this death-rebirth cycle becomes a living reality rather than abstract theology. 33 also appears during what Tibetan Buddhism calls bodhisattva activation, the moment when an advanced soul makes the conscious decision to postpone personal liberation in order to serve the liberation of all beings. Many Piscean individuals experience this calling as an irresistible pull toward healing, teaching, or serving others, even when such service requires significant personal sacrifice. The master teacher energy of 33 manifests differently for each Piscean called to embody it. Some become healers whose very presence catalyzes profound transformation in others. Some become teachers whose words carry divine authority and can shift consciousness instantly. Others become living examples of unconditional love whose daily lives inspire everyone they encounter to remember their own divine nature. The number 44, the master builder of cosmic realities. 44 carries the energy of manifesting divine will in physical reality through sustained spiritual work and unwavering dedication to cosmic purpose. For Pisces, this represents your extraordinary ability to bring heavenly visions into earthly form, to serve as a bridge between the realm of pure possibility and the world of concrete manifestation. This is your number of sacred creativity and divine architecture, of building bridges between dimensions and making the impossible possible through complete faith combined with focused intention. 44 appears when the universe needs your Piscean sensitivity combined with practical action to create something that will serve spiritual evolution for generations to come. When 44 becomes prominent in your experience, you're being called to engage in work that will outlast your physical lifetime, perhaps creating new healing modalities, establishing spiritual communities, developing artistic expressions that carry transformation frequencies, or building institutions that serve humanity's awakening. This number signals that your dreams and visions are meant to become tangible realities that anchor higher dimensional energies in the physical plane. The ancient Egyptian mystery schools taught that certain souls incarnate specifically to serve as cosmic architects, beings whose primary purpose involves creating physical structures, social institutions, or cultural movements that facilitate humanity's spiritual evolution. 44 is the signature frequency of these cosmic architects, marking periods when their divine commission becomes active. 44 also connects to what Kabbalistic tradition calls tikkun olam, repairing the world through spiritual action. For Pisces, this repair work often involves creating new forms of beauty, healing, or spiritual practice that help restore humanity's connection to divine source. You become a literal builder of new realities, using your Piscean sensitivity to perceive what needs to be created and your growing mastery to actually manifest it. Many Piscean artists, healers, and spiritual innovators report that their most significant creative breakthroughs occurred during periods when 44 appeared repeatedly in their environment. This number seems to signal when the universe is ready to support major creative projects that will serve collective awakening. The number 888, the infinite abundance portal. 888 vibrates with the frequency of infinite abundance flowing through divine grace, representing the moment when spiritual work begins generating not just personal fulfillment but material support for continued service. For Pisces, this represents the universe's confirmation that your spiritual path is authentic and that divine providence will provide everything needed to continue your sacred mission. This is not the number of selfish accumulation or material obsession, but rather the frequency of divine provision flowing to support authentic spiritual service. 888 appears when your alignment with spiritual truth has reached a level where material abundance naturally flows to enable greater service to others rather than personal indulgence. The 888 formation creates what ancient Chinese mystics called the Infinity Gate, a powerful vortex of manifestation energy that appears when someone has achieved sufficient spiritual development to be trusted with abundant resources. The energy of 8 represents material mastery achieved through spiritual wisdom, while the triple repetition amplifies this energy exponentially. 888 signals that you've moved beyond scarcity consciousness into the realm of divine trust, where your needs are met before you even recognize them consciously. This number sequence appears repeatedly when you're being prepared to step into greater levels of spiritual service that will require significant material resources, perhaps establishing healing centers, funding spiritual education programs, or supporting other light workers in their missions. For Pisces, 888 often appears during periods when you're learning to receive abundance gracefully rather than struggling with guilt about having resources while others lack them. This number teaches that spiritual people honoring abundance appropriately actually creates more resources for collective benefit than attempting to prove spiritual worth through voluntary poverty. The ancient Vedic tradition teaches that highly evolved souls sometimes incarnate with dharmic wealth, material resources that flow naturally as a result of spiritual development, and are intended to support both personal evolution and service to others. 888 marks the activation of this dharmic wealth, indicating that abundance is flowing not as reward for good behavior but as fuel for expanded service. Numbers are far more than symbols on a page or concepts in the mind, they are living frequencies. Actual vibrations of cosmic consciousness that shape reality at the quantum level where thought becomes form. Ancient civilizations understood this profound truth intuitively, building their most sacred structures according to numerical principles that modern quantum physics is only beginning to rediscover and validate. For Pisces, this understanding comes as naturally as breathing. Your Neptune-influenced consciousness operates on intuitive rather than analytical levels, allowing you to feel the actual energy of numbers rather than simply calculating with them mechanically. This gives you access to what esoteric traditions call the mathematics of the soul, the numerical patterns that govern spiritual evolution, consciousness transformation, and the process through which divine intentions become physical realities. When you meditate on a sacred number, you're not simply thinking about it intellectually, you're attuning your entire being to its unique frequency, allowing that cosmic vibration to reorganize your energy field at cellular, emotional, mental, and spiritual levels. Your Piscean sensitivity allows you to actually feel how different numbers create different energy states in your physical body, emotional responses, and thought patterns. This is the foundation of authentic spiritual numerology, the recognition that numbers are consciousness transformation technologies. Modern quantum physics has discovered that consciousness itself affects physical reality at the subatomic level, the famous observer effect, demonstrating that the act of observation actually influences what is observed. For Piscean practitioners of sacred numerology, this scientific validation confirms what mystical traditions have taught for millennia. Focused consciousness working with numerical frequencies can literally reshape reality. When you focus on one of your sacred numbers during meditation, you're creating what quantum physicists call a consciousness field, an organized pattern of awareness that influences probability patterns in the quantum field. The more consistently you work with specific numbers, the more powerfully your consciousness field becomes organized around those frequencies, attracting corresponding experiences and opportunities. Your Piscean nature makes you particularly sensitive to these consciousness fields because your psychic abilities allow you to perceive subtle energy patterns that others cannot detect. You can actually feel when your numerical practices are creating shifts in the quantum field, sensing changes in the probability climate around specific intentions or goals. British biologist Rupert Sheldrake's theory of morphic resonance suggests that when patterns of activity are repeated, they become easier for others to access through invisible fields of information. Applied to sacred numerology, this means that every time you work consciously with your sacred numbers, you're contributing to and drawing from morphic fields of consciousness that connect you to all other beings who have worked with these same frequencies throughout history. This is why certain numbers feel immediately familiar to Piscean consciousness. You're accessing morphic fields created by centuries of mystics, healers, and spiritual teachers who have worked with these same numerical frequencies. Your individual practice becomes part of a vast network of consciousness spanning time and space, connecting you to the accumulated wisdom of everyone who has ever used these numbers for spiritual development. The ancient concept of Akashic records may actually describe these morphic fields of numerical consciousness, vast libraries of spiritual experience organized according to the mathematical principles that govern consciousness evolution. When you work with your sacred numbers consistently, you begin accessing these Akashic libraries directly, receiving guidance and insights from the collective experience of all souls who have traveled similar spiritual paths. Cymatics, the study of visible sound, demonstrates that specific frequencies create corresponding geometric patterns in physical matter. When sound waves of particular frequencies are applied to sand, water, or other substances, they spontaneously organize into beautiful, complex geometric forms that remain stable as long as the frequency continues. The same principle operates when you focus on sacred numbers during meditation. Your consciousness, focused on specific numerical frequencies, creates cymatic effects in your energy field and even in your physical body. These patterns organize your entire being according to the cosmic principles that each number represents, literally restructuring your reality from the inside out. Advanced Piscean practitioners often report that extended work with specific sacred numbers creates observable changes in their physical health, emotional stability, mental clarity, and spiritual abilities. These changes occur because the numerical frequencies are actually reorganizing their biological and energetic systems according to more harmonious patterns. The phenomenon of entrainment occurs when two oscillating systems gradually synchronize their rhythms when placed in proximity to each other. This same principle operates when you work consistently with sacred numbers. Your consciousness gradually entrains to their frequencies, causing your thoughts, emotions, and even physical biorhythms to synchronize with these cosmic patterns. For Pisces, this entrainment process happens more rapidly than for other signs because your natural psychic sensitivity allows you to perceive and respond to subtle frequency changes immediately. You can literally feel your consciousness shifting into resonance with sacred numbers during meditation, creating what many describe as a sense of coming home to a frequency that feels more natural than ordinary waking consciousness. This entrainment effect explains why consistent practice with sacred numbers often leads to spontaneous spiritual experiences, enhanced intuitive abilities, and what seems like miraculous synchronicities. Your consciousness, entrained to cosmic frequencies, begins attracting experiences that match those vibrational patterns. As a water sign ruled by Neptune, your connection to lunar cycles extends far beyond the widely recognized influence of moon phases on emotions and intuition. The moon's relationship to your consciousness operates on multiple levels simultaneously, affecting your psychic abilities, your capacity for manifestation, your receptivity to higher guidance, and your ability to work effectively with sacred numbers. The ancient moon priestesses of cultures spanning from Celtic druids to Aztec spiritual leaders understood this principle with extraordinary sophistication. They recognized that certain numbers carried different potencies depending on lunar phases, creating complex but beautiful systems of timing that maximize the effectiveness of spiritual work while honoring the natural rhythms that govern all life on Earth. For Pisces, lunar timing is not optional but essential for advanced spiritual practice. Your Neptune-ruled consciousness is so closely attuned to lunar frequencies that working against these natural rhythms can actually impede your progress, while aligning with them can accelerate spiritual development exponentially. During the new moon, when lunar energy reaches its most receptive phase, your consciousness enters what Tibetan mystics call the bardo of infinite possibility, a state where the usual patterns of reality become fluid, and new creations can be seeded into the quantum field with unusual ease. Your sacred numbers 7 and 12 become particularly potent during new moon phases for setting intentions and beginning new spiritual practices. The dark moon creates what quantum physicists might describe as a zero-point field, a state of maximum potential energy that eagerly accepts the seeds of new realities when they're planted with clear intention and proper numerical focus. 7 days after each new moon, regardless of which calendar month you're experiencing, creates what mystics throughout history have called the manifestation window. a 48-hour period when Piscean intentions planted during the dark moon begin showing initial signs of taking root in physical reality. During these manifestation windows, pay special attention to how your sacred numbers appear in your environment, as these appearances often indicate which aspects of your new moon intentions are beginning to manifest. The new moon in your own sign late February to late March annually creates the most powerful manifestation portal of your entire year. During Pisces new moons, all of your sacred numbers become supercharged, creating opportunities for quantum leaps in spiritual development that might otherwise take months or years to achieve. Ancient Celtic traditions taught that the 3 days surrounding each new moon created thin times when the boundary between dimensions became permeable enough for consciousness to directly influence physical reality. Modern Piscean practitioners often report that their most profound manifestations occur when they combine new moon timing with focused work on their sacred numbers during these 3-day windows. As the moon increases from new to full, lunar energy builds progressively, creating perfect conditions for developing spiritual practices, building energy for major manifestations, and strengthening your connection to higher guidance. This waxing phase particularly supports work with numbers 29 and 33, as these frequencies resonate with the building energy that characterizes this lunar period. The first quarter moon 7 days after the new moon creates what ancient astronomers called the testing point, when the universe presents opportunities to demonstrate your commitment to new moon intentions. This is often when challenges or obstacles appear that require you to choose between maintaining spiritual focus or reverting to old patterns. Your sacred numbers become powerful allies during these testing periods, providing access to the spiritual strength needed to maintain your chosen direction. During waxing moon phases, establish daily practices involving your chosen sacred number. If working with 7, spend 7 minutes each morning in meditation focusing on your spiritual goals. If working with 12, create 12-item gratitude lists or perform 12 repetitions of chosen affirmations. These building practices accumulate energy throughout the waxing phase, reaching peak potency during the full moon. Many advanced Piscean practitioners create lunar spirals during waxing phases, gradually increasing the intensity or duration of their numerical practices each day as the moon builds toward fullness. This technique harmonizes personal spiritual work with natural cosmic rhythms, creating powerful momentum that culminates in breakthrough experiences during full moon energy. The full moon represents peak lunar energy, creating optimal conditions for advanced spiritual work, healing practices, and consciousness expansion activities. During full moon phases, your higher vibration numbers 29, 33, 44, and 888 become exponentially more powerful as the heightened lunar energy amplifies all forms of spiritual practice. 48 hours before each full moon reaches exact completion, begin intensive work with your chosen sacred number. The building energy creates what ancient astrologers called the approach phase, a period when full moon energy is accessible but not yet overwhelming, allowing for deep spiritual work without the emotional intensity that peak full moon energy sometimes creates for sensitive Piscean consciousness. Full moons in water signs Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces create the most powerful opportunities for Piscean numerical work throughout the year. These water sign full moons activate what esoteric astrologers call the grand water trine of consciousness, connecting your personal awareness to collective emotional and psychic fields in ways that can produce profound spiritual breakthroughs. The full moon in your opposite sign of Virgo, usually occurring in late August or early September, creates particularly potent opportunities for grounding spiritual insights into practical reality. During Virgo full moons, work with number 44 becomes extraordinarily effective for manifesting spiritual visions in concrete forms that can serve others. Advanced practitioners often use full moon energy to charge physical objects, crystals, jewelry, written intentions, or artwork with the frequencies of their sacred numbers. These charged objects continue radiating the combined lunar and numerical energies long after the full moon has passed, creating ongoing support for spiritual development. As the moon decreases from full to new, lunar energy shifts from building to releasing, creating perfect conditions for using your sacred numbers to clear patterns, beliefs, or energies that no longer serve your highest development. This is particularly important for Pisces because your natural empathy and psychic sensitivity can sometimes create energetic congestion from absorbing others' emotions or carrying outdated spiritual practices beyond their useful life. The last quarter moon, 7 days after the full moon, creates what ancient lunar traditions called the purification gate, when consciousness can most easily release what no longer serves while maintaining what supports continued growth. During these periods, work with all your sacred numbers in reverse sequence, starting with your highest vibration numbers and moving toward the foundational frequencies. Waning moon phases provide optimal timing for what Tibetan Buddhism calls cutting through practices, spiritual techniques designed to sever energetic attachments to limiting patterns. When combined with sacred number focus, these cutting through practices can eliminate years of accumulated psychological and spiritual baggage in relatively short periods. Many Piscean healers and counselors report that their most effective clearing work, both personal and with clients, occurs during waning moon phases when numerical focus is combined with conscious release intentions. The decreasing lunar energy seems to create a natural spiritual vacuum that pulls away whatever is ready to be cleared. The 3 days when the moon is completely dark before the next new moon cycle begins create what mystics throughout history have called the sacred void, a period when ordinary consciousness can most easily access what Hindu tradition calls the unmanifest, the pure potential from which all realities emerge. During dark moon periods, your connection to sacred numbers operates differently than during other lunar phases. Rather than using numbers for specific intentions or practices, this timing supports pure receptivity to whatever guidance or insight wants to emerge from the cosmic void. Many Piscean practitioners report receiving their most profound spiritual downloads during dark moon meditation with no agenda other than complete openness to divine will. The dark moon phase preceding your birthday each year creates what ancient astrologers called the soul retrieval portal, a 3-day window when consciousness can most easily reclaim soul aspects that may have been lost or fragmented during challenging life experiences. Combine dark moon timing with meditation on number 29 to facilitate profound healing of old spiritual wounds. Your dreams represent far more than random neurological activity during sleep. They constitute a sophisticated communication system through which higher dimensions of consciousness transmit guidance, healing, and prophetic insights directly to your Piscean awareness. Numbers that appear in your dreams carry special significance because they emerge from the same cosmic intelligence that governs synchronicity, destiny, and spiritual evolution. As a Neptune-ruled sign, your dream consciousness operates with unusual clarity and depth compared to most other souls. While others may struggle to remember dreams or interpret their symbolic content, your natural psychic abilities allow you to receive and retain complex spiritual teachings through nocturnal visions. Understanding how to work with numerical dream guidance can accelerate your spiritual development exponentially while providing practical direction for daily life decisions. The ancient Egyptians Masters of dream interpretation and numerical mysticism. Maintained elaborate dream temples where specially trained priests helped spiritual seekers understand the numerical messages appearing in their sleep visions. These dream priests recognized that souls born with strong water element influence, particularly those connected to Pisces energy, possessed natural abilities to receive prophetic and healing guidance through dreams when they learn to interpret the numerical codes embedded in these experiences. Begin each evening by setting clear intentions to receive numerical guidance through your dreams. Place a journal beside your bed specifically dedicated to recording dream numbers and their contexts. Before sleep, hold one of your sacred numbers in consciousness while requesting guidance about specific life questions or spiritual development needs. The moments immediately upon waking provide the clearest access to dream memories before they fade into the unconscious. Train yourself to remain still with eyes closed upon awakening, reviewing the dream experience for any numerical content before allowing full waking consciousness to return. Even partial dream memories often contain the most important numerical guidance. Create what ancient dream workers called numerical intention spirals by focusing on different sacred numbers on different nights throughout the week. Monday nights might focus on receiving guidance through the number 7, Tuesday nights through 12, continuing through your entire sequence of sacred numbers. This systematic approach ensures you receive the full spectrum of guidance available through numerical dream work. Many advanced practitioners establish what they call dream dialogue relationships with their sacred numbers, treating each number as a conscious entity capable of communication through dream imagery. Over time, you may find that specific numbers develop consistent symbolic languages in your dreams, making interpretation increasingly accurate and detailed. Numbers in dreams rarely appear as simple digits, they more commonly manifest as symbolic representations that require interpretation through your developing Piscean intuition. 7 might appear as 7 flowers, 7 people, 7 rooms in a house, or 7 repetitions of a particular dream action. 12 could manifest as months passing in a dream, 12 animals appearing, or 12 steps leading to an important destination. Pay special attention to dreams involving water imagery combined with numerical content. For Pisces, water dreams often carry the most important guidance because they occur in your natural element where psychic reception is clearest. Count waves. Approaching shore, notice the number of rivers or lakes in the dream landscape. Observe how many times you enter or exit water during the dream narrative. Dreams where your sacred numbers appear in unexpected or unusual contexts often carry the most significant guidance about upcoming opportunities for spiritual advancement. If you dream of 29 stars forming a specific constellation, 33 candles arranged in a sacred pattern, or 44 people gathered for a ceremony, these dreams are providing previews of spiritual initiation experiences approaching in your waking life. Sometimes sacred numbers appear in disguised mathematical forms within dreams. Notice multiplication, division, or addition operations that result in your sacred numbers. Observe time elements that correspond to your special frequencies, perhaps dreaming of events occurring at 7 o'clock, meeting someone on the 12th day of a month, or experiencing dream sequences lasting exactly 29 minutes of dream time. Many Piscean individuals discover that their sacred numbers appear in dreams as timing indicators for future events. Dreams showing specific numerical sequences often indicate when important developments will manifest in physical reality. Learning to interpret these timing dreams can provide invaluable guidance for making optimal decisions about career changes, relationship developments, spiritual training, or geographic relocations. Dreams involving countdown sequences or ascending number patterns frequently indicate approaching spiritual initiations or consciousness expansion opportunities. Pay particular attention to dreams where numbers appear in sequence leading toward one of your sacred numbers, such as counting from 1 to 7, or observing a progression from random numbers toward 12. Recurring dreams featuring the same numerical content often indicate unfinished spiritual business or guidance that requires integration into waking life. If the same sacred number appears repeatedly in dreams over several weeks or months, your higher consciousness is emphasizing the importance of working more consciously with that particular frequency in your daily spiritual practice. Some advanced practitioners develop the ability to request specific guidance through lucid numerical dreaming, becoming conscious within dreams and directly asking their sacred numbers to provide information about particular life questions. This technique requires considerable practice but can eventually produce remarkably accurate and detailed guidance about complex life decisions. Dream healing through sacred numbers. Your sacred numbers can serve as powerful healing tools within the dream state, facilitating emotional processing, psychological integration, and even physical healing that continues after awakening. Establish pre-sleep intentions to work with specific numbers for healing particular aspects of your life that need attention. Number 7 dreams often facilitate spiritual healing and consciousness expansion. 12 dreams frequently address relationship healing and community connections. 29 dreams may process deep karmic patterns or past life material requiring resolution. The master numbers sometimes facilitate healing that extends beyond personal boundaries to affect family lineages or even collective human wounds. Create what dream healers call numerical healing dialogues by maintaining ongoing conversations with your sacred numbers through multiple dreams over extended periods. Ask each number to show you what healing work it wants to support, what spiritual gifts it wants to help develop, or what life areas it can assist in transforming. Many Piscean healers and therapists report that some of their most effective healing techniques first appeared in dreams as numerical healing sequences or patterns. These dream-received methods often prove more powerful than conventionally learned approaches because they emerge directly from the cosmic intelligence that governs authentic healing rather than from intellectual study alone. The universe operates according to vast cycles of expansion and contraction, creation and dissolution, manifestation and return to source. Understanding how your sacred numbers align with these cosmic rhythms can dramatically amplify their effectiveness, while ensuring that your spiritual work harmonizes with rather than conflicts with natural law. For Pisces, born during the final phase of the astrological year, these timing considerations carry special importance because you naturally resonate with completion, transition, and transformation energies. Your spiritual development unfolds most powerfully when synchronized with the cosmic cycles that govern consciousness evolution on both individual and collective levels. Ancient civilizations structured their entire spiritual practices around these natural rhythms, recognizing that certain types of spiritual work become exponentially more effective when performed during specific celestial configurations. The Piscean season, your annual spiritual renaissance. From February 19th through March 20th each year, when the sun moves through your sign, all of your sacred numbers become supercharged with extraordinary potency. This period represents your annual spiritual new year, a time when intentions set with numerical focus have the greatest potential for long-term manifestation and consciousness transformation. During your birthday month, the sun's energy directly activates your natal chart while simultaneously illuminating your sacred numbers with solar fire. This creates optimal conditions for what ancient astrologers called solar initiation, a process through which spiritual aspirants could access higher levels of consciousness through properly timed practices. Divide your Pisces season into 4 weekly phases, working intensively with one sacred number per week. Begin with 7 during the first week, establishing foundations for mystical development. Move to 12 during the second week, focusing on cosmic consciousness and universal love. Work with 29 during the third week, embracing spiritual challenges as opportunities for growth. Conclude with whichever master number feels most relevant to your current development level during the fourth week. This annual cycle creates what esoteric astrologers call the solar spiral of awakening, a yearly pattern that gradually lifts consciousness to higher levels through accumulated spiritual practice. Each year's Pisces season builds upon previous year's development, creating a powerful spiral of ever-expanding awareness and capability. The exact moment of your birthday each year creates what mystics call your personal portal, a brief window when your consciousness can most easily access guidance about your soul's mission for the coming year. Spend this day in contemplation with your most resonant sacred number, requesting clarity about how to best serve spiritual evolution during your new solar year, spring equinox, the cosmic reset button, the spring equinox, occurring near the end of Pisces season, offers perfect timing for establishing new spiritual practices based on sacred number work that will maintain power throughout the coming year. The balanced energy of equal day and night creates stable foundations for long-term numerical practices while opening doorways for fresh spiritual inspiration. Use the 3 days surrounding the spring equinox to consecrate tools, spaces, or practices that will support your sacred number work throughout the coming seasons. The equinox energy ensures that whatever you establish during this window will maintain its spiritual potency through all subsequent seasonal changes, providing consistent support for consciousness development. Spring equinox also marks what ancient traditions called the seeding time, optimal moments for planting spiritual intentions that will manifest over the coming year. Combine equinox timing with meditation on number 44 to establish realistic plans for bringing spiritual visions into physical form through practical action steps. Many Piscean spiritual teachers establish their most important annual practices during spring equinox periods, finding that the balanced solar-lunar energy creates ideal conditions for committing to long-term spiritual disciplines that might seem overwhelming if attempted during more intense seasonal periods. The summer solstice represents maximum solar energy, creating powerful opportunities for advanced spiritual work that requires high-intensity cosmic support. During solstice periods, your sacred numbers become infused with solar fire, making them particularly effective for manifestation work and consciousness expansion practices. Work with number 33 during summer solstice periods to access what ancient solar traditions called Christ consciousness, the realization of divine love as the fundamental force underlying all existence. The intense solar energy available during solstice timing can catalyze profound spiritual breakthroughs for Piscean consciousness ready to embody higher levels of service. The weeks surrounding summer solstice creates what mystics call the solar maximum portal, a period when focused spiritual practice can produce results that might otherwise require months of consistent work. Use this timing for intensive meditation, retreats, vision quests, or other immersive spiritual practices combining solstice energy with numerical focus. Summer solstice in the northern hemisphere coincides with winter solstice in the southern hemisphere, creating what advanced astrologers recognize as global polarity balance, a brief period when planetary energy fields achieve maximum stability. Piscean practitioners worldwide can work together during these periods, using sacred numbers to support collective consciousness evolution regardless of their geographic location. Autumn equinox, the wisdom harvest. The autumn equinox marks the beginning of what ancient Celtic traditions called the wisdom season, the period when consciousness naturally turns inward to process and integrate the spiritual development achieved during the preceding year. For Pisces, this timing supports profound work with number 29, facilitating the transformation of challenging experiences into spiritual wisdom. Use autumn equinox energy to review your spiritual development over the past year, identifying patterns where your sacred numbers appeared to guide important decisions or facilitate breakthrough experiences. This annual review process helps you recognize how cosmic intelligence operates in your life while preparing consciousness for even deeper numerical guidance in the coming year. Autumn equinox also creates optimal timing for what Tibetan Buddhism calls merit dedication, consciously offering the spiritual benefits of your practice for the welfare of all beings. Many Piscean practitioners use this seasonal transition to dedicate their numerical practice benefits to collective human awakening rather than personal advancement alone. The balanced day-night energy of autumn equinox supports what ancient mystery schools called the wisdom synthesis, the process of integrating diverse spiritual experiences into unified understanding. Work with number 12 during this period to facilitate the synthesis process, allowing all your varied spiritual experiences to cohere into clear wisdom about your soul's evolutionary direction. Winter solstice, the light returns. Winter solstice represents the moment when light begins returning to the world after the darkest night, making it an incredibly powerful time for Pisces to work with manifestation numbers 44 and 888. The solstice energy amplifies your natural ability to bring spiritual visions into physical reality while providing cosmic support for material abundance flowing to support spiritual service. 7 days before and 7 days after winter solstice. Create what mystics throughout history have called the 14-day miracle window, a period when focused work with sacred numbers can produce results that seem to transcend natural law. The returning light energy combines with your Piscean sensitivity to create optimal conditions for what might be called spiritual magic. Winter solstice traditionally marks the birth of what ancient traditions called the inner sun, the awakening of divine consciousness within human awareness. For Pisces working with master numbers during this timing, profound spiritual initiations become possible as cosmic energy supports consciousness expansion beyond ordinary human limitations. Many advanced practitioners establish their most ambitious manifestation goals during winter solstice periods, finding that the combination of returning solar energy with intensive numerical focus can attract opportunities and resources that seemed impossible during other times of year. The key is aligning personal intentions with what serves collective spiritual evolution rather than purely personal desires. Eclipse seasons, cosmic acceleration periods, solar and lunar eclipses create what ancient astrologers called cosmic acceleration periods, brief windows when consciousness evolution that normally unfolds over months or years can occur in days or weeks. Eclipses in water signs particularly affect Piscean consciousness, creating opportunities for quantum leaps in spiritual development when combined with focused sacred number work. Eclipse energy intensifies whatever spiritual practices you're already engaged in while opening doorways to entirely new levels of consciousness that may have seemed inaccessible during normal planetary periods. Use eclipse timing for intensive work with your most challenging sacred numbers, particularly 29 and 33, as the cosmic energy provides exceptional support for embracing difficult spiritual growth opportunities. The 6-month periods between eclipse seasons create what modern astrologers call integration cycles, times for processing and stabilizing the consciousness expansions that occurred during eclipse activations. Use these integration periods for gentle, consistent work with foundational numbers 7 and 12, allowing profound changes to settle into stable new patterns of awareness and capability. Your connection to the water element creates unique opportunities for sacred number work that remain completely inaccessible to signs governed by other elements. Water carries vibration, memory, and consciousness in ways that modern science is only beginning to understand, while ancient traditions have always recognized water as the primary medium through which cosmic intelligence communicates with human awareness. Water-born souls like Pisces possess natural abilities to program water with numerical frequencies, creating powerful tools for consciousness transformation that operate on cellular, emotional, mental, and spiritual levels simultaneously. These water-based practices often produce more profound and lasting results than purely mental or energetic approaches because they engage your fundamental elemental nature directly. Begin working with what ancient traditions called living water, natural spring water, rainwater, or water from sacred sites that carries high vibrational frequencies. Fill clear crystal or glass vessels with this living water and place them under moonlight while focusing intensively on one of your sacred numbers. Visualize the number's energy as streams of colored light infusing the water, creating what alchemists called liquid light water programmed with specific frequencies that can transmit those vibrations directly into your cellular structure when consumed. Different numbers require different charging methods and timing for optimal effectiveness. 7 Benefits from 7 hours of continuous moonlight exposure, preferably during waxing or full moon phases. Create a meditation practice where you sit with the charging water for 7 minutes each hour, maintaining focused intention on the spiritual qualities you want to develop through 7's influence. 12 requires charging during the complete 12 hours of night, from sunset to sunrise. This extended charging period creates what ancient lunar priestesses called cosmic water, liquid that carries the full spectrum of lunar consciousness and can facilitate profound spiritual awakening when used ceremonially. 29 needs charging during waning moon phases, preferably over multiple nights to accumulate the transformational energy this number represents. The resulting water carries frequencies that support the dissolution of limiting patterns and the emergence of spiritual strength through challenge. Master numbers 33, 44, and 888 should only be charged during particularly powerful celestial events, eclipses, rare planetary alignments, or other cosmic occurrences that provide sufficient energy to contain these advanced frequencies safely. These master number waters become extraordinarily potent tools for consciousness transformation that should be used sparingly and with great respect. * Create sacred bathing rituals using your special numbers to guide every aspect of the experience, transforming ordinary bathing into profound spiritual practice. These numerical baths become liquid meditation experiences that allow your Piscean sensitivity to absorb cosmic frequencies through your entire physical being. For 7-based healing baths, add exactly 7 drops of spiritually significant essential oils, perhaps frankincense, myrrh, sandalwood, or other oils traditionally used for consciousness expansion. Soak for 7 times 7 minutes, 49 minutes total, while maintaining focused meditation on spiritual wisdom and mystical development. 12 frequency baths incorporate 12 different healing herbs, creating complex aromatic blends that facilitate cosmic consciousness and universal love. Many practitioners gather 12 herbs during the 12 days surrounding each full moon, creating monthly bath blends that carry both lunar and numerical energies for profound healing. 29 flower baths use fresh flowers, ideally 29 individual blossoms floating in bath water to invoke the spiritual warrior energy this number represents. These baths particularly support healing from emotional trauma and the development of spiritual courage needed for advanced service work. Master number baths require special preparation and should only be attempted during your most spiritually focused periods. These advanced practices can facilitate profound consciousness expansions but also require considerable energy integration afterward. If you have access to oceans, rivers, lakes, or other natural water bodies, use them as vast temples for advanced sacred number work. Natural water holds what indigenous traditions call earth memory accumulated, wisdom and energy from millennia of cosmic interaction that can dramatically amplify your numerical practices. Ocean work particularly resonates with Piscean consciousness because the sea carries the primordial memories of life's emergence from water. Stand in ocean waves and count 7 waves rolling toward shore while setting intentions for mystical development. Walk along beaches for time periods based on your sacred numbers: 7 minutes, 12 minutes, 29 minutes, while maintaining meditative awareness of how ocean energy interacts with your chosen numerical focus. River practices involve what ancient Celtic traditions called flowing meditation, walking upstream or downstream while focusing on numerical sequences that mirror the flowing water's rhythm. Rivers carry what earth mystics recognize as directional energy, upstream movement facilitating introspection and spiritual development, downstream movement supporting manifestation and practical application of spiritual insights. Lake meditations provide opportunities for what Native American traditions call mirror work, using still water surfaces as focusing aids for numerical meditation. Sit beside peaceful lakes while gazing into the water's surface, allowing your chosen sacred number to appear as visual patterns in the reflected light and ripples. Natural hot springs create particularly powerful opportunities for numerical healing work because the Earth's geothermal energy adds another dimension to water's consciousness-carrying capacity. Many ancient cultures established healing temples at hot springs specifically because they recognized these sites as natural portals where water element work could access deeper levels of transformation. Advanced Piscean practitioners learn to work with natural weather patterns as cosmic allies in their numerical spiritual practice. Rain, snow, fog, and other water-based weather phenomena create temporary shifts in planetary energy fields that can dramatically enhance sacred number work when approached with proper understanding and respect. Rainfall creates what atmospheric mystics call cleansing fields, energetic conditions optimal for using sacred numbers to clear limiting patterns and negative influences. Stand or sit in gentle rain while focusing on number 29, allowing the falling water to carry away whatever no longer serves your spiritual development. Snow meditation involves what Arctic shamanic traditions call crystalline contemplation, working with the unique consciousness-amplifying properties of frozen water. Each snowflake carries perfect geometric patterns that naturally resonate with sacred numerical frequencies, creating powerful support for geometric visualization practices. Fog and mist create what ancient Celtic Druids recognized as veil conditions, atmospheric states where the boundary between physical and spiritual realms becomes permeable. Use foggy conditions for advanced work with master numbers 33 and 44. As the misty environment facilitates access to higher dimensional guidance that might be difficult to receive during clear weather ocean storms. When experienced safely from appropriate distances, generate what coastal mystics call power fields, intense concentrations of elemental energy that can catalyze profound spiritual breakthroughs when combined with focused numerical meditation. Never attempt to work directly in dangerous weather, but the energy preceding and following storms often provides extraordinary opportunities for consciousness expansion. Your Piscean nature thrives on creative expression as a primary form of spiritual practice, and incorporating your sacred numbers into artistic endeavors creates powerful pathways for manifestation that bypass mental resistance and engage the full spectrum of your consciousness. Art becomes prayer, creativity becomes ritual, and inspiration becomes direct communication with cosmic intelligence when filtered through the transformational lens of sacred numerology. For Neptune-ruled consciousness, artistic expression serves as a natural bridge between the spiritual and physical realms. When you create art guided by numerical principles, you're not simply producing aesthetic objects but actually anchoring higher dimensional energies in physical form. These numerically inspired creations continue radiating transformational frequencies long after completion. Serving as ongoing tools for consciousness development, music operates according to mathematical principles that naturally align with numerological foundations, making musical practice one of the most powerful ways to embody sacred number energies while developing your creative abilities. The ancient Pythagoreans understood music as audible mathematics, the direct translation of cosmic numerical harmonies into sound frequencies that could facilitate profound spiritual transformation. Create personal musical practices based on your sacred numbers, whether through composition, performance, or conscious listening. 7-note scales, 12-tone compositions, or rhythm patterns based on 29 beats create musical structures that attune your consciousness to corresponding numerical frequencies while developing your artistic abilities. If you play instruments, experiment with melodies that incorporate exactly 7 notes, harmonic progressions that cycle through 12 positions, or rhythmic patterns that repeat every 29 beats. These numerical constraints often spark unexpected creativity while programming your subconscious mind with the spiritual qualities each number represents. For non-musicians, create listening practices around your sacred numbers. Compile playlists with 7 songs for wisdom development, 12 songs for cosmic consciousness work, or 29 songs for spiritual warrior training. Pay attention to songs that naturally run for time lengths matching your sacred numbers, as these often carry messages from cosmic intelligence about your spiritual development. Many Piscean musicians report that their most profound compositions emerge when they surrender personal creative preferences to numerical guidance, allowing sacred numbers to determine song structures, harmonic progressions, or rhythmic patterns. This approach often produces music that carries unusual healing or transformational properties for listeners. Chanting and vocal practices based on sacred numbers create direct physiological effects that facilitate consciousness transformation. Chant sacred syllables for 7 repetitions. Create harmonic sequences lasting 12 minutes. or develop extended vocal meditations spanning 29 minutes to experience how numerical timing affects your energetic and spiritual states. Create visual artwork that incorporates your sacred numbers as both subject matter and structural elements, producing beautiful objects that continue broadcasting transformational frequencies while serving as focal points for ongoing numerical meditation. These artworks become what ancient traditions called wisdom objects, physical forms that carry spiritual teachings in visual language. Paint or draw 7-petaled flowers, 12-pointed stars, 29-phase transformation cycles, or abstract representations of your master numbers. Use the sacred numbers to determine compositional elements, perhaps creating drawings with exactly 7 major elements, paintings divided into 12 sections, or sculpture incorporating 29 distinct components. Mandala creation offers particularly powerful opportunities for numerical artistic practice, because these circular forms naturally organize consciousness while providing structured formats for exploring sacred geometries. Create 7-sided mandalas for mystical development, 12-section mandalas for cosmic consciousness work, or more complex mandalas based on your master numbers for advanced spiritual practice. Photography projects based on sacred numbers train your awareness to perceive numerical patterns in everyday environments while creating visual records of synchronicities that might otherwise be forgotten. Spend 7 days photographing only subjects that appear in groups of 7, or create photo series documenting how your sacred numbers appear naturally in architectural details, natural formations, or social gatherings. Sculptural work with natural materials, clay, stone, wood, or metal allows you to literally shape matter according to numerical principles while engaging your hands in meditative activity. Create sculptures with 7 sides, 12 projections, or 29 distinct surfaces, allowing the creative process to become a form of 3-dimensional meditation. Digital art provides unlimited opportunities for exploring complex geometric relationships based on your sacred numbers. Use computer graphics programs to create intricate patterns, animations, or interactive artworks that visualize the mathematical relationships underlying your numerical spiritual practice. Develop writing practices that use your sacred numbers to structure both content and form, creating literary works that carry transformational frequencies through their very organization. These numerical writing constraints often spark unexpected insights while programming your consciousness with the spiritual qualities each number represents. Write 7-sentence prayers that capture essential spiritual aspirations, 12-paragraph meditations exploring cosmic truths, or 29-page journals documenting your spiritual development over specific time periods. Create poetry using meter and rhyme schemes based on your sacred numbers, allowing the numerical constraints to guide your expression into previously unexplored territories. Storytelling based on sacred numbers creates what ancient Celtic bards called teaching tales, narratives that convey spiritual wisdom through plot structures organized according to cosmic principles. Write stories featuring 7 main characters, 12 distinct episodes, or transformation journeys lasting 29 chapters. Automatic writing practices guided by numerical timing can facilitate direct reception of spiritual guidance while developing your literary abilities. Spend exactly 7 minutes writing continuously without censoring or editing, allowing whatever wants to emerge through your pen to flow freely. Extend this practice to 12-minute or 29-minute sessions as your capacity for sustained receptivity develops. Many Piscean writers discover that some of their most profound insights emerge when they allow sacred numbers to determine writing schedules, word counts, or revision processes. This approach transforms writing from personal self-expression into collaborative creation with cosmic intelligence. Journal practices structured around sacred numbers create Powerful tools for tracking spiritual development while maintaining connection to numerical frequencies. Write 7 entries exploring different aspects of a spiritual question. Create 12-month journal cycles focusing on different numerical themes. Or maintain long-term journals that document how each sacred number influences your life over extended periods. Develop movement practices that allow your physical body to embody numerical frequencies directly, creating cellular memory of sacred vibrations that influence your consciousness even when you're not actively thinking about numbers. Dance becomes a form of embodied mathematics, translating abstract numerical concepts into kinesthetic experiences. Create 7 gesture sequences for morning spiritual practices, combining specific movements with corresponding breath patterns and mental focus. Learn or invent folk dances with 12-step patterns that can be practiced as moving meditation. Develop flowing movement sequences that cycle through 29 different positions or gestures over extended practice periods. Martial arts practices adapted for numerical spiritual development combine physical conditioning with consciousness training in ways that particularly appeal to Piscean nature. Adapt Tai Chi or Qigong forms to incorporate exactly 7 major movements, 12 directional changes, or 29 transitions between different energetic states. Yoga sequences organized around sacred numbers create powerful tools for integrating spiritual insights into physical experience. Practice 7 pose sequences for daily spiritual development, 12 pose cycles for monthly consciousness work, or extended practices incorporating all your sacred numbers for intensive spiritual development periods. Ecstatic dance practices guided by numerical timing facilitate direct spiritual experience through sustained rhythmic movement. Dance for 7 minutes to access mystical consciousness, 12 minutes for cosmic awareness, or 29 minutes for spiritual warrior activation. These extended dance practices often produce profound spiritual experiences while providing excellent physical exercise. Walking meditations based on sacred numbers transform ordinary movement into spiritual practice while connecting you with the Earth's energy. Walk for distances measured in your sacred numbers. 7 minutes, 12 blocks, 29 steps between contemplation stops while maintaining awareness of how movement and numerical focus interact to affect your consciousness. Organize group creative activities based on your sacred numbers, discovering how collaborative artistic expression amplifies numerical frequencies while building spiritual community. Group creativity often produces results that exceed what individual efforts can achieve while providing opportunities to share numerical wisdom through shared artistic experience. Gather 7 friends for collaborative music-making sessions. Create 12-person artistic projects for seasonal celebrations. Or organize 29-day group challenges for collective creative development. These collaborative experiences often produce breakthrough insights for all participants while creating artworks that carry the combined energy of multiple consciousness streams focused on the same numerical frequencies. Community art projects organized around sacred numbers provide opportunities to share numerical wisdom while creating beautiful installations that benefit entire neighborhoods or spiritual communities. Organize community gardens with 7 distinct sections. Public murals incorporating 12 symbolic elements, or sculpture installations based on the geometric principles underlying your master numbers. Teaching creative workshops based on sacred number principles allows you to share your growing understanding while learning from others' approaches to numerical creativity. Many Piscean artists discover that their most profound insights about their own practice emerge when they attempt to teach these principles to others. Pisces. Beloved children of Neptune, guardians of the sacred mysteries, holders of ancient wisdom. As our profound journey through the sacred realm of divine numerology draws to its completion, remember that you are not learning something foreign to your essential nature, you are remembering something your soul has carried across lifetimes. Wisdom that has been waiting in the depths of your being for this precise cosmic moment when conditions would be perfect for its emergence, the sacred numbers that have called to you throughout this exploration. 7, 12, 29, 33, 44, and 888 are not external tools you use to manipulate reality but internal frequencies you embody to align with cosmic truth. They are not formulas for getting what you want but pathways for becoming who you truly are. In the mysterious alchemy of Piscean consciousness, working with these numbers transforms both you and them, creating an eternal dance between individual soul and universal intelligence that enriches the entire cosmos. You now understand that 7 opens the mystical gateway to direct divine communication, that 12 facilitates cosmic consciousness and universal love, that 29 forges spiritual strength through sacred challenge. You recognize 33 as the frequency of divine teaching, 44 as the energy of cosmic building, and 888 as the vibration of infinite abundance flowing through spiritual service. But beyond these specific correspondences lies the greater truth: that you are part of an ancient lineage of mystics, healers, and wisdom keepers who have worked with these cosmic principles throughout human history. Your individual practice connects you to this vast network of consciousness spanning time and space, contributing to the collective awakening that our world so desperately needs. The water element that flows through your Piscean nature will carry these numerical frequencies into every aspect of your existence, creating ripples of transformation that extend far beyond your individual life. Through your dreams, your artistic creations, your healing presence, your simple daily interactions with others, you become a blessing to the world by embodying the wisdom these sacred numbers represent. As you move forward into the fullness of your numerically awakened life, remember that you carry within your consciousness the mathematical blueprints for creating heaven on earth. Through your compassion, you demonstrate the healing power of 7. Through your universal love, you embody the cosmic completion of 12. Through your spiritual courage, you manifest the transformational energy of 29. When you teach others through your example, you channel the master teacher frequency of 33. When you create beauty that serves collective awakening, you express the cosmic builder energy of 44. When you receive abundance gracefully and share it generously, you become a living portal for the infinite provision of 888. Trust the process that unfolds through your numerical practice, dear Pisces. Trust the synchronicities that appear when you maintain awareness of your sacred frequencies. Trust the dreams that carry numerical guidance. Trust the artistic inspirations that emerge when you align with cosmic mathematics. Trust the healing that flows through your hands when you channel numerical frequencies. Most importantly, trust the ancient wisdom that lives in your Neptune-blessed consciousness, the cosmic intelligence that speaks through every act of genuine love, every moment of authentic compassion, every choice to serve the highest good rather than personal advantage. Your sacred numbers are not just spiritual concepts to contemplate but living energies to embody. They are not mathematical abstractions but practical tools for creating the more beautiful world your heart knows is possible. They are not personal possessions to accumulate but cosmic gifts to share through the fullness of your authentic self-expression. The universe has been calling your name since before time began, and your sacred numbers are letters in the cosmic alphabet that spells out your soul's deepest purpose. You came to this earth during this particular historical moment because your unique combination of Piscean sensitivity and numerical wisdom is needed for humanity's spiritual evolution. Go now, children of the sacred waters, carriers of cosmic mathematics, bridges between heaven and earth. Go forth and live the magic that you are, knowing that every breath you take, every choice you make, every moment of love you express contributes to the great work of planetary awakening. Your sacred numbers will guide you, support you, and celebrate with you as you become increasingly magnificent expressions of divine love in human form. The stars remember who you are, even when you forget. The numbers hold the keys to that remembrance. And in that sacred remembering lies not only the secret to transforming your own life, but the power to participate consciously in the cosmic evolution of consciousness itself. The ancient prophecies speak of a time when those who remember their divine nature would arise to guide humanity through the great transition. That time is now. You are among those prophesied ones. Your sacred numbers are your credentials, your tools, and your constant companions on the sacred mission. Trust the mystery. Embrace the magic. Become the miracle. The ocean of cosmic consciousness flows through you always, carrying the eternal wisdom of your sacred numbers into every moment of your blessed existence.